Skills on the platform. This is the oracle read for our water signs: Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. All right. Now, weekly oracle reads. What came out for our water signs is Dai Ko Moyo. All right. Now, this is the Yusi Raki Master symbol used in attunement and in all Reiki healing, right? Okay. Now, there are many variations of this symbol that exist. So you guys can, take the name, do some research, look it up for yourself. I always encourage people to do their own research. Don't just take what I'm saying for face value. And essentially, this is just an oracle read. But nonetheless, you still want to do some research for yourself. They say man does not learn by being told. So do your due diligence also and find out what you can find on this as well, right? It's all about expanding your understanding, awareness in life. This is just a different perspective, all right? So let's get on water signs. Now, also, there are many variations of this symbol, as I mentioned, that exist depending on the teacher and the Reiki system. So there's also different systems of Reiki as well. So you guys can look that up. This is not going to be discussed on this video. All right. Now, Daikomayo means roughly great being of the universe. Shine on me. It can also mean great shining light. Right? Okay. So, water signs. What I'm getting is for you guys are great beings of the universe. Okay? For our water signs. Here's the thing, what a lot of people don't understand too is water signs, there's no life without water. You need air to breathe, okay? You need fire to keep you warm. You need earth to protect you and build shelter, right? But you need water to sustain life. Our bodies is made of 70% of water. So we need that element. It's necessary. Without it, nothing else really matters, right? Because if you can create life, but if you can't sustain it, what's the point in creating it? Right? You got to be able to nurture like that earth, right? Water is connected to earth. A lot of Earth's water signs are naturally attracted to earth signs. All signs attract to one another, but there's a certain connection that earth and water has that no other element can provide, right? Water nourishes that earth. For example, you plant a seed in the dirt, you have to water it for it to grow, or there will be no vegetation. If there's no vegetation, there's no life. If you can't, feed that seed and water that seed, no plants would grow, right? But it still has to be planted in earth and then watered, right? Daikoma Mayo means roughly great being of the universe. Once again, water signs. You are great beings of the universe. Shining on me. It also means the great shining light. It embraces the ideas that the physical body was constructed as a manifestation of the spiritual body, right? Once again, it kind of goes into that, it kind of touches into the earth reading that I just recently did. So go check out that earth reading also. All right, the earth oracle reading. It embraces the idea of the physical body was constructed as manifested in one of the spiritual bodies. So you have your earthly body, which is physical. Then you have your spiritual body. Think of it as the body being earth and the spirit is the water, right? They say we are made up of water. So being that we're made up of water and earth, it goes perfect with one another. It's a perfect balance between the two of earth and water. It embraces the idea that the physical body was constructed and manifested of the spiritual body. This also coordinates the belief that all illness within the physical body beings as an illness of the spirit. So that's very interesting. So any illnesses within the physical body begins as an illness of the spirit. And yeah, definitely go watch and listen to that earth sign reading. Okay, it ties in a bit. So, in other words, if you don't have that awareness, like I said, that's in the earth reading, right? That you're not nurturing your spirit and only your flesh, you're imbalanced. You easily become ill. Sicknesses in the body, diseases, right? A dis-ease within the body when there's pains and aches. You try to move a certain way and you get a crook in your back or arthritis, all types of body ailment and issues. It starts spiritually first. People really tend to neglect the spiritual side of themselves. Then they wonder why that things can't and not quite happening the way it should, right? There's an imbalance. This also coordinates that the belief that all illnesses within the physical body begins as an illness of the spirit. Daikomayo cleanses these bodies and heals the spirit, providing wholeness. You see, if you're not fully taking care of your spiritual as well as your physical, right? Never negating either one, you become whole. You're balanced. When it appears in your reading, it is asking you to ponder your life's path. Water signs. So, in other words, the theme for this week is, and this oracle read is for you to follow your life's path. Ponder your life's path. Because that's gonna take you to completion. People tend to think that life is all about, relationships, life's all about money, life's all about certain things that really don't matter, right? Now, don't get me wrong, it's necessary to have access to things because that's what the world was created for. Man created man and woman, to be able to have access to these things, right? They were put here for our benefit to experience in this physical realm. There's things that we created as man and woman to experience in this physical realm. So it's made for us and meant for us to have. If you don't have access to certain things, then you definitely got to wonder why you don't. It's because there could be an imbalance, right, of the spiritual and the physical. Yes, you can go out there and work and do physical labor and attain something, right? But if you can't, for whatever reason, get up that day or any day for that matter and not go out and actually perform an activity, right? You will not be able to sustain yourself because the body starts to wear down after so much use and abuse of it, right? You know, if you're running your body ragged every day and you're not taking care of it and you're working all day, you know, it's going to get to a point where the body's going to break down. So that's reason why we were given a mind and a spirit, that other side of yourself, where yes, you can go out there and work physical jobs and make some and earn an income, right? But you don't want to do that for the next 40, 50 years, right? You started working at, say, age 20, as an example, up until 60, right? That's 40 years of working. If you were doing construction for that long, you would not move the same way you moved when you started out at age 20. So, in that time frame, you want to do things not only physically, you want to have things on a spiritual aspect, on a thought process. You have to think about certain things you can put in place to also be able to generate income. So for whatever reason, within that 40 years time frame of you working your physical position, which is nothing wrong with that if you choose to do so, but you still want to think about certain things you want to put in place, as an example, investments, right? You know, variety of different investments out there in the world that you can pursue to sustain you in the long run, where you don't have to perform so much physical labor, especially when you get into your older years, right? You know, that's the problem with society today. A lot of people don't know this, right? They weren't taught this. They were thinking to work until you were 60 something years old and wait for Social Security benefits. The way things are moving in the world today, a lot of us may not see that Social Security benefits, right? Especially the younger generations, right? You know, people in their 50s and the 60s, they're getting ready to come up on that age where, you know, they would get that, but a lot of them are having issues today. So, you know, the next generation may not even see it. So what's your plan, right? What's your plan to sustain yourself moving forward, right? To be able to have that wholeness, spiritually and physically. When it appears in your reading, it is asking you to ponder your life's path, your goals, and your desires in order to guide you in a loving, compassionate, and abundant way. So, once again, if you don't have a plan for your own life, someone else will have a plan for your life for you. And I guarantee you're not going to like the plan that someone else has for your life if you don't get a grip and take control of your life. This is for our water signs. You must take control of your life. You can't control others. People are going to do what they want to do, right? But nonetheless, you have full control to do what you want to do and make sure you set a plan in motion for the future. All right? All right. Loving and compassionate and abundant way. It says, cleanse your life of unnecessary energies. It's, and you know, once again, like I said, this is very similar to the earth reading, right? You know, earth and air, earth and water are neighbors, right? Now, cleanse your life of unnecessary energies is the message here. So any unnecessary energies, right? Cleanse your life of them. Anyone around you is not benefiting you, or you not being able to benefit one another, and it's one-sided, get away from these bloodsuckers, because they will suck the life out of you, don't care about what happens to you, and move on to the next person and try to suck the life out of them. So once again, if there's not a reciprocal relationship between the two, then you definitely must question it. Always question what's going on between people. I don't care what kind of relationship you're in. If both people are not benefiting from that connection, it is useless. Get away. Now, it is not for, it says cleanse your life of unnecessary energies in the message here. It is not for the greater good and your own good. It is not necessary. Let me repeat that again. If it is not for the greater good and your own good, it is not necessary. Okay? Water signs. Don't let people take advantage of you, because this world can be very cold if you are not covered. You must be covered from the elements. And you already know, if you're in a cold ocean, right? Eventually, you can drown, because water can be beneficial, can give you life, and at the same time, you can drown in water. So, in conclusion, just make sure you guys are looking out for yourself, because once again, you can't take care of yourself. You can't take care of others, if you're not taking care of yourself. You gotta take care of number one first. You come before everybody, because without you, others can't benefit from you, or you can't help others. All right? But this is the oracle read for our water signs for this week. Peace.